Federal government reportedly releases list of terror financiers as service chiefs have met behind closed doors with federal lawmakers. Let me take you to the issue of the terror list, that the financier list that came out from the reporting of the Punch newspapers, which reported about 15 persons and firms, that organizations, including Bureau de Change, that are involved in terror financing, and they have been listed for sanctions. What do you make of this? This is something Nigeria has been battling to kill terror or terrorism on Nigerian soil for over 20 years now, from the Northeast region. And we've seen some active roles of these terror gangs within the Northwest region of the country in the name of banditry. And now one of the persons who is facing a trial over in the linkage to the attack on the train in Kaduna is also named Mamu in this particular situation. What comes to mind when you heard that the federal government, the Buhari government, has said it, and they know those who are funding terror, they will release their names, but for 8 years that never happened?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this is one place that we should give a pat at the back to the current government. I mean, I was on the air severally during the last regime for the 8 years, and I remember one of the points we drove home very strongly was the fact that there was a lack of national will to deal with this situation, and that the will was not strong enough by the government at the time. And so it is good to see a government that is showing a stronger will to deal with these situations. Because I've said it again and again, that what we have is a political strategic problem masquerading as security challenges. I've said that 1,001 times. You will agree with me as this thing begins to unfold, that now we're seeing, in fact, what I would call a simple step that is really a giant stride, right? Taking this step to bring out and call out these names and take this next step. In my analysis of insurgency and terrorism, I've talked about 8 S's. And indeed, one of the S's is what is coming out now. Sponsors. Because out of the 8 S's, all the approaches we have applied in trying to solve insurgency and terrorism in the country are just about 2 components of those 8. So adding this third one to it, we go a long way. Because it's like we've been dodging the issue. It's like we've been dodging naming the enemy, naming the adversaries behind this problem. I mean, we even agree to the fact that, are we saying that the gates of hell were opened suddenly and Nigeria just having this all-round challenges, security challenges coming? Is it that aliens were sent from some abyss to come and attack Nigeria all at the same time? No, the indices and the indicators certainly speak differently. It's obvious that there's some central control and command and control of those who are doing these things. Because for them to be happening concurrently all over the nation, you know that there is something that is not by the individual actors. Okay? These are clear indices that anybody in the intelligence circle or in the security circle can pick them readily. Okay, so for me, this is a major step forward. And I think we should follow it up with subsequent steps that will create enough deterrence. Because it's like some people have gotten away with blue model all of this while and thought that nothing, I mean, they can go scot-free and nothing will happen. And if they begin to get the new message that, look, you are not going to get away with blue model anymore. There's a new sheriff in town, and this is not going to be tolerated any longer. Because it's also clear that when you tolerate, you cannot change. So the first step to changing the situation or dealing with a dastardly situation like ours is to stop tolerating things that should have been utterly frowned at, So good step. That's what I would say. And of course, I expect that this will be followed up by the security sector, all the forces, services, agencies, with the freedom now to deal with these issues and all the other dimensions to be brought on board, so that we can have, a holistic, concurrent actions dealing with these 6 different components and sectors of insurgency and terrorism, and that will give us the solution we've been looking for. Yeah.
Now that we know have these names, what do we do with them as a nation? Technically, what happens afterwards?
Yeah, well, that's a very security-related question, which I won't be able to elucidate so much. But I can tell you that the services and agencies involved know what to do. They know what to do following this. And you see, all along it has been these services and agencies looking up to the body language of this at the grand strategic level, and hence, as it were, their hands were tied. So once the grand strategic level makes it clear that no ox is God, nobody cares about whose ox is God, and no sacred cow, they will be free. They will be free, and they must be encouraged to exercise that freedom of action to take the next necessary steps. Yes.
So if you look at the names, I don't know if you have seen them, if we can go through these names, and perhaps with your technical mind and professional mind, maybe you can make sense of it for us. We have Tuko Mamu, Yusuf Ghazali, Mohammed Sani, Abubakar Mohammed, Salamuddin Hassan, Adamu Ishaq, Hassana Oyiza Isa, Abdulkarim Musa, Umaru Abdullahi, and 6 BDCs and firms include West and East Africa General Trading Company Limited, Satins Bureau de Change Limited, GSI General Enterprises, Desert Exchange Ventures Limited, Eagle Square General Trading Company Limited, Alpha Exchange BDCs. I'm trying to do some investigation to find out the real persons and find out the linkages, the identity of this person. We're trying to, but it looks like some of these names carry multiple identities because maybe some of them have some kind of a generalized names. But let me allow you to, because we try to check who they are. We try to identify, put faces to these persons. And maybe now that the names are public, maybe people can know who these persons are. But from your mind, General, if you have this list in your hands, what comes to mind if you look at the names, trying to analyze the names?
Yeah, thank you so very much. We are getting to brass tacks now. That's what it means. I think we are unveiling the thing that hitherto have been covered. The first thing to know, and I've said this again and again, that the real crux of what Nigeria is going through is a clash of civilizations. And let me expatiate on that. There are 2 major civilizations that you can identify in Nigeria. Now, this is a concept that has been enunciated by Samuel Huntington in his book, The Clash of Civilizations and the Remaking of World Order. And he defines civilization as the highest level of categorization of humanity. I mean, from after you say the human or humanity as one single entity, the next categorization really would be civilizations, because it cuts across religions, ethnicity, nations, kingdoms, principalities, city-states. They are soft factors that define the 2 sides, like I said, the 2 major. He actually identified 8 civilizations that are subsisting in the world. And that was around mid-90s. But later in his next edition, he actually dropped Zoroastrianism, which of course we know was a civilization that was in the then Persian kingdom. And of course, it's virtually extinct. And then he also asked, some aspersion on whether there is still something that can be constantly said to be African civilization, because our civilization has been more or less modulated and demodulated by other civilizations. And but having said that, the 2 main civilizations that we see in the international arena is the Western civilization and the Islamic civilization, or the Arabic civilization, if you like. And the clash between those civilizations are obvious. They are there. And so, more categorically speaking, the 2 civilizations that we see clashing in Nigeria is simply a replica of that global trend. Okay, it's a local replica of a global trend. And let me put it very clearly, because I know I will attract some flags on this. Now, in Nigeria setting particularly, this civilization cut across, like I said, ethnicity, religion, tribe, and all of that is simply 2 convenient platforms by which mainly the elite class have got, to survive. Let me put it that way. So you find people in these 2 different civilizations, but there are different indicators or different premises that are working in each of those civilizations. And one of it is that the difference majorly is that what is an accessory in one is an excess in another, or what is tolerated in one is frowned at in another. But the uncanny thing about the whole thing is that the one side of this civilization that is more of akin of Western civilization is not very much aware of the other side. Okay, and there's a whole lot of ignorance even among the elites in that civilization as to what are the values and the ideologies of the other civilization. And that's where our major clash is coming from. And that's why you will find why some of these things have been tolerated by those who have acted on them all of the while.
So, General,
that's what I can say about it. They are very sensitive area. But until the day we address this aspect of the nation, everything we are doing, we just be 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards each time we change.
All right. So